What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made this beautiful, delicious, smoky, tender, crispy skin, amazing pork sketty, which is direct heat, crispy skin, pulled pork belly on some beautiful, fluffy, homemade buns turned into the ultimate barbecue sandwich. Coming up. This is some pork belly. Pat it dry. And what we got here is a beautiful little pork belly. Got some nice meat in there, as well as some beautiful marbling. And this one is, in fact, skin on. Even got a little teat. And I got this from meatandbone.com. Not sponsored, but finding skin on pork belly is kind of hard around here. And this one is nice and beautifully squared up already, so we don't need to do any trimming at all, except for this little piece right here. All right, there we go. Now we're ready to get this thing seasoned up. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take our knife and just kind of scrape this skin a little bit. Not sure if this does much, but we're just gonna start pulling some moisture out of this already because we're aiming for some nice crispy skin at the end of this thing. So anything we can do up front to help that out will only benefit us. I'm also gonna punch a bunch of holes in the top of this skin with my little jacquard here. This is just a whole bunch of little needles that when you slam it down, these get exposed and go right into the belly. And in theory, once this thing starts getting up in temp, that'll allow some of the fat to render and kind of crisp through and deep fry this skin through all those tiny little holes. And as for seasoning on this, I'm gonna hit the backside only with some good old-fashioned Chud rub. And just get a nice even coating. Add some flavor, add some color. You could skip this. You could go just salt and pepper, whatever rub you like. Or just skip this step entirely, because we're making some pulled pork belly sandwiches at the end of the day, so we could always add some more flavorings once it's all pulled. And I guess we probably shouldn't forget the sides, right? Because that would be a rookie move. Beautiful. And really, that's all we have to do. I suppose you could cut this into some smaller pieces if that's what you were after. Increase the amount of edges you've got to get seasoning on, but we're gonna salt the skin once it's already on the pit, so I guess that means it's time to fire up the pit. Telling you, these chuddy tumbleweeds certainly light up quick. All right, folks, we got the all-new mini Chud box fired up right around 300 degrees, looking beautiful. And if you can't tell, I've been using this thing a lot. It's already due for a cleaning, but not right now. So on the pit we go with this pork belly, skin side up, obviously. Might squish it together a little bit, and there we go. And just like a whole hog or any other crispy skin direct cook I've done, I'm gonna coat this skin in some table salt. Kosher salt also works well, but I think the table salt works a little bit better because it's a smaller granule size, so there won't be as many gaps between the flakes as if we were to use a more coarse salt. And again, this is an obscene amount of salt, but this is not for flavoring. This is just to protect the skin as well as draw out some moisture from the skin. That way it doesn't get all dark and rubbery on us. And then down the road when we flip this thing, we should end up with some nice crispy pork skin. And who doesn't love that? Beautiful. So now we're gonna shut her down and let her cook for a couple hours. It's a pretty thin pork belly, so it probably won't take all that long. This video is brought to you by ZBiotics. ZBiotics is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic made by PhD scientists to help tackle those rough mornings after drinking. And with summer approaching, there is plenty of reasons to crack a cold beer, whether you're floating down the river, cooking some barbecue in the backyard, or just enjoying a nice bourbon. But no matter how you enjoy your summer weekends, waking up Monday morning feeling groggy is no way to live. And luckily, ZBiotics is here to help. Basically what happens is when you drink alcohol, a toxic byproduct is caused to form in your gut called acetaldehyde. And it's that byproduct, not just dehydration, that is responsible for those rough mornings after a night out. But ZBiotics produces an enzyme that breaks that byproduct down in your gut. It works a lot like your liver, but in your gut where it's needed most. Meaning you can wake up the next day feeling refreshed and ready to get right back to work. And using it could not be simpler. Give it a quick shake, pop it open, and make sure this is your very first drink of the night. And then proceed to have a wonderful night out with your friends. Drink plenty of water, get a good night's rest, and you'll wake up feeling better than ever. It really could not be easier to go out and enjoy a night out, knowing that I can wake up in the morning and continue making videos or start editing or doing whatever else it is I have to do. So if you plan on enjoying a few adult beverages this summer, go to zbiotics.com/chudsbbq or scan the QR code on screen right now to get 15% off, or use code chudsbbq at checkout. Again, link in the description. That's zbiotics.com/chudsbbq or use code chudsbbq at checkout to get 15% off your order. Thank you, ZBiotics. While we wait for that pork belly to cook away, let's go ahead and make some quick buns. Starting with some warm water and some yeast that I've already let bloom going in, followed by some sugar, our bread flour, and some salt. And let that come together. And once a shaggy dough has formed, we're gonna go in with some softened lard. And this is in fact the same dough that I made for my Cubano video. So we're gonna make some Cuban bread buns today. Should be nice and light and fluffy. Let this knead for about 8 to 10 minutes. Ooh, beautiful dough. And it should look just like that. And now, into a grease bowl it goes. Cover this in plastic wrap and let this rise for the next hour to hour and 1/2. 1 hour later, clearly our dough is nice and doubled in size. So, out it comes. Punch that air out a little bit. We're gonna divide this up into 100-gram little dough balls. And then, just like every other bun, we're just gonna fold and tuck everything underneath so all the seams are on the bottom. Pinch that all shut, give it a nice little roly-poly so they're nice and round. And then onto a Silpat lined baking sheet we go. Oh, so cute. I'm telling you, if you haven't made this dough yet, I highly recommend it. It's super easy, very nice to work with as well. And just so few ingredients. And just like that, all of our buns are formed. I'm gonna throw some greased plastic wrap over these and let these rise for another 30 minutes till they're nice and puffy. And just like that, these are looking nice and plump, I must say. They're just jiggling like little clouds. And you could go on with an egg wash right now. That would give them a nice color. You could score them like a classic Cubano loaf, but I think I'm just gonna bake them off as is, you know, see how they come out. I'm sure they'll be a little paler than my normal buns, but maybe I'll hit them with some butter at the end just to be a little bit extra. But into a 350-degree oven these go for probably about 15-20 minutes. And just like that, we've got some nice fluffy little buns here. I did butter them, so they're gonna be nice and soft and nice and buttery. I'm gonna pop these in a wire rack and let them cool down until we're ready to use them. So we're about 3.5, 4 hours into this pork belly cook, and I think it's time to give this thing a flip. And first thing we need to do is remove this salt crust. Luckily, it all comes off in one nice big sheet, which makes for very easy cleanup. Save that, you got yourself some hog salt. And that salt clearly did its job. We got no discoloration. The skin is looking nice and dry, but now we need to crisp it up a bit. So, just gonna flip that over. Ooh, very nice direct heat color on that underside. Looking a little bit dark, feeling a little bit tough. So we're gonna bust out a quick mob sauce to soften that up a little bit. Super basic mob sauce. I've got a stick of butter melting here. I already had that melted for buttering our buns. And I'm gonna try to go all powder today just to see how it tastes. Starting with some mustard powder, a couple tablespoons of that, some paprika, a couple tablespoons of that, some of my favorite dehydrated onions. Oh goodness, well, I might as well finish that off. Probably 3 tablespoons of that, some granulated garlic, some red chili flakes, maybe 1 tablespoon of that, some freshly cracked black pepper, cause why not? Then we'll go in with maybe a cup's worth, about a cup's worth of apple cider vinegar, as well as about a cup of some white vinegar, maybe half a cup of some Texas Pete hot sauce, little shot of some Worcestershire for a good measure, and to help round everything out, we'll finish this with some brown sugar. And just bring that up to a simmer. Ooh. And of course, going in with a little bit of Miller Lite, just for good measure. And you know the drill from here, folks. We're just gonna hit this a couple times, add some flavor, add some softness, add some nice acidity, because it's just fun and it smells great and it tastes good. Do this every 10 minutes or so until this thing is reading proper temps. I'm telling you, folks, if you're not mopping barbecue, you're missing out on a whole world of old school fun. It hits the coals, steams up, smells so good, softens up the meat, adds some good color and flavor, and just, if you could smell this cloud right now. Oh, gotta love that direct heat. I mean, would you just look at it, folks? Come on. And just like that, off the pit we come. Ooh. But as you can see, we've got a beautiful, nice, crispy skin on top. Nothing wrong with that, folks. Did get a little dark on the edges inside. That's from the mop, which had some sugar in it that kind of caramelized a bit more, but nothing is burnt. Everything is looking nice and juicy. Rocking a solid internal temp of like probably 200 plus at this point, because we're going for some pulled pork, so we want it nice and tender. Nice crispy skin, so all we need to do now is let this rest before we dive on in. Now you're probably sitting there going, Bradley, are you really cooking another crispy skin pulled pork sandwich on this channel? You've done this plenty of times before. And it's true, I have. But this one's a little bit different, because this is my homage to all the whole hog cooks out there. And as someone who's cooked many whole hogs over the last few years, I gotta let y'all in on a little secret. When you're pulling that hog after a really long cook, the best bite is definitely that pork belly section, where you're getting that nice stringy, ropey, super fatty, almost cone healthy belly meat, sometimes called Midlands, sometimes called pork sketty, where you got those really long strands of super fatty meat. It is the definition of pitmaster privilege. And I can tell you, every time I pulled a hog, that was the first bite I was going for, because it is so decadent and so great. And that's kind of what I'm trying to bring to the backyard cook right now. It's just that ultimate pulled pork sandwich made from the best cut. But without further ado, let's dive into this thing, shall we? Gotta love that crispy skin. Let's flip this over and we'll start pulling this pork belly. Now this outer layer is probably gonna be a little bit tough because it got blasted with the heat. So we're gonna get right past that, because what we're really after is this stuff right here, that stringy, beautiful pulled pork. Ooh, still toasty. It's that layer right under the skin. Get all this off there. Ooh, beautiful skin. Oh, love it. Quick sound bite. Oh my God. That was unbelievable. But all this meat, those big, long, look at that. Oh, that is what we're after. That is the point of this video. It's like threads of beautiful pulled pork. Oh, I was talking about it a bit in the Suadero episode, about how these super stringy cuts make for some of the most tender, perfect pulled pork, or in that case, pulled beef. But, oh my goodness, I'm telling you, this is pork belly at its finest texture. Oh, you just get a little mound of this, pop that on a sandwich with some sauce. Yes, please. I'm telling you, pulled pork belly sandwiches needs to be the trend of the summer. Oh, I mean, just look at it, folks. Come on. So fatty, so rich, so tender. I love it. It's so good. Smells amazing, by the way. And we get crispy skin on top of it. I think it's time to make a sandwich. So I think what I'm gonna do is take all this beautiful pork sketty, set that over here. All this under meat, that's kind of the tougher bits that was hit with all that direct heat, still nice and shreddy. And I'm gonna give this a quick chop. Would you just look at these beautiful buns? They're so soft. Oh, I love it. Give that a little slice right down the middle, shall we? Yeah, come on. I wish you could feel how light this is. It's like nothing at all. And of course, we're gonna give these a little butter toast, because you know, I don't wanna be rude here. And give these a quick toast on the old Chud press. Ow! Definitely making these buns again. Ooh, so beautiful. But we're gonna make a super simple pulled pork sandwich, folks. Starting with a big mound of our beautiful stringy pork sketty right here. This stuff smells so good. It's everything pork belly. It's everything direct heat barbecue. It's fatty, it's rich. It's got that beautiful sauce on there, full of hot sauce and all those savory flavors. And that powdered mop sauce seems to have worked out very well. And we've got all this chopped pork over here. Might as well put a little bit of that on there as well. That's got all that mop sauce flavor on there. And then we're gonna go on simply with some of our nice thinly shaved red onions. I was gonna pickle these, but you know, I just love a classic onion and barbecue sandwich sometimes. Could throw some pickles on here as well, but sometimes you just gotta keep it basic when it comes to a pulled pork sandwich. I did shock these onions in some ice cold water. That's why they're looking nice and crispy and nice and stiff. And of course, we gotta finish this with some of our crispy skin. Ooh, give that a rough chop real quick. Ooh, nice chicharron on top. Gotta love that. On my Mount Rushmore of barbecue items, the whole hog style direct heat cooker crispy skin pulled pork is up there. Nice and smoky, nice and salty. And that's it, folks. Come on. I mean, what's not to like here? Beautiful, stringy, fatty pulled pork on the world's fluffiest buns with a simple sauce and some onions. Oh, don't forget the crispy skin. I gotta dive in. You know, it's never tough to convince me to make a beautiful crispy skin, whole hog-esque sandwich. That's looking real nice. I'm kind of liking these pale buns. It's got a little McMuffin vibe going on, but without further ado, let's see how this thing came out. That's just a bite of happiness, folks. I mean, come on. This barbecue at its finest. Oh, that pork is so good. The crispy skin, the best garnish for a sandwich, I'll tell you what. It's so simple. It's bread, it's pork, it's crispy skin, it's onions, it's mop sauce. I mean, talk about better than the sum of its parts, because that is phenomenal. That bun squishes down real nice. Nothing too artisanal about it, but just, oh, so good. And freshly baked. I mean, come on. So good. Oh, I mean, mean, just look at it, folks. Like, tell me you don't want to go out and make this right now. It's so stringy. And oddly enough, out of all the ways to make a pork belly sandwich, this is probably the least greasy as I wipe my hands. It's really not a heavy sandwich because a lot of that fat rendered out because we cooked this thing to like 210 internal. The onions add freshness. The bread helps cut the fat. The crispy skin is like bacon, just adding that healthy crunch. Might be the ultimate pulled pork sandwich. That's all you need. I've done the full front leg of a pig. I've done the picnic ham. I think I did some shanks at one point. Hard to keep track. But this has got to be the winner because it's not shank meat. It's not picnic ham meat. This is pork belly with crispy skin on a homemade bun with that mop sauce and that direct heat flavor. This is the winner. How do you beat this? But without further ado, I think it's time for the official taste test. Ooh, that's looking good. All right, y'all, that is it. That is how to make an absolutely incredible pulled pork belly whole hog-esque sandwich. This really is the best way to get that whole hog perfect experience at home. Well, at least the best parts of the whole hog anyway. Because there really is nothing better than that pork sketty, that pulled Midlands, that tender, stringy pork belly meat on a sandwich. And you can do this without a skin-on pork belly. I've done this plenty of times with a regular skinless belly and it works just as good. But anytime you can get that crispy skin on top, you're going to be in for a great time. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace!